Ooh, it's showtime. Oh, and look who showed up just after I clicked the showtime button.
How's the lag? How's the lag?
I don't know. I'll count to 3, and when I say 3, you say 4, okay?
Okay.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Can you just say 4 or it doesn't work like that?
What the fuck are you talking about?
Because I missed the 3.
No, I need to know how long the lag is.
Righto, I'll count to 4. I'll use fingers.
No. I want to hear from you, and the delay between when I say 3 and you say 4 will tell me how long.
Let's do it your way.
Opposed to the okay. 1, 2, 3,
4.
There's no lag.
How the hell did that happen?
We got lucky.
Bloody oath, we got lucky. Because there's tiny little lag at my place, and it's close. And I'm not close. I'm not
maybe half a second lag, but nothing appreciable. So, hello, look, everyone's rolled into the chat. Who's here? Big Boy, Justin, Fox of Fate, Luke, and PBR. Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so very much for allowing me to be on your device. It's very close and a little bit sensual. Don't worry about angry. He's, he's like, you're not allowed to touch them or lick them. I probably have a bit of white because they just glued my teeth in because you probably don't want my teeth floating around while we're doing the thing. You probably want me to go like that or probably like that. With a bit of sampaku around my eyes. I know what that word means.
So you're not doing just minstrel makeup.
This is just vitamins.
The dehydrated person's urine. It's all good.
It's actually home brand Barocca, if there's such a thing. And it's actually not too bad.
That's all right.
I demanded that boss of the house get me proper Barocca, and he said, "No, we're getting cheap." I went, "We always get cheap everything. We even get cheap biscuits. If there's a biscuit that looks like a proper biscuit," he says, "No, we're getting a cheap biscuit. They taste the same." It's like, you don't eat biscuits. You wouldn't know. Why are you getting the cheap stuff? And like, if there's a salad on special, right?
Yeah.
Got to be cleared today. He'll friggin' buy 4 of them and say we're having for we're having salad for dinner. And I'll go, "We're gonna get salmonella and die." He said, "I won't. I've got a cast iron stomach. You're the one with the immune problems."
Oh, that's harsh. That's very harsh.
Not only harsh, he wants half of my possessions, which aren't a lot. I even said the camera, the computer's not mine, right? It's Angry's. And he's gone, "I'll convince him."
Gosh.
Not even cold in my grave. And he's
not even warm in your grave, really. Yeah.
That's true, actually. I do have to be a bit warmed up because I'm a zombie.
Yeah.
Was I talking last week about me and Death meeting in a bar?
Oh, maybe. You talk about all sorts of things.
Yeah, me and Death meeting in a bar. So, like, I'm actually dead this time. And I go, "Oh, shit, what am I going to do?" And I go up to a bar, and there's Death. And putting down the 6th. And I go, "Oh, so hi, Death." "Oh, it's you. Oh, you fucking decided to join us now." "Oh, well, fucking thanks, dude. So very fucking much. I think I'm going to down another couple of... Aren't you supposed to... Oh, Emily? Because I fucking tried a few times, but who didn't show up?" "Fuck you then. You can buy me 6 beers on the anyway. You've been drinking scotch. You fucking right I have." And, me and Death will get along very awkwardly for about 3 days as he goes on a bender. So that's what we decided Death and Me would go for. How many people are in here? Thank you so much for coming. You are
There's a
so
few more
nice.
people coming we should say hello to. It's Mega Leech and Locust Trooper and Gecko. Gecko's having bloody kidney stone surgery, I think.
That sucks ass. Kidney stone surgery sucks ass because the thing they put on for kidney stones is the same thing they put on for nuclear weapons. So they've got it's like a what do they call it? Controlled piece of technology. So hospitals who want to get kidney stone removal have like spooks watching the thing. And so
because it's no, I get what you're saying.
So you get these like people going to wipe out your kidney stones. You go, please do it because it's really fucking hurting. And you get these guys in black with sunglasses, and you get surgeons going, it's not that bright. You can take the sunnies off, you conkhead. And then they go zap, and you go, it still hurts. And then they go zap again. You know, it still hurts, zap. Oh, like that. And it's good. And then you piss out this sort of weird powder with your urine. Doesn't hurt at all. It feels great. So get those kidney stones removed. Don't worry about the spooks. We're with you. You're supposed to do this, Angry. You're supposed to go like this. We're with you.
Oh, that's a solidarity.
We're with you. Yeah, it's a solidarity. You're gonna not only go through this, but you're gonna show us your wangly after, and go, who urinates through this? Me, like that. You're supposed to do it. Angry's probably going, no, he's not supposed to do it.
I know. Gecko's apparently going under general for whatever they're doing, getting his urethral stent taken out.
Gecko, I think that you're brilliant, and I'm crying a little bit having things chucked up my urethra, and fuck. Enjoy the trip, my brother. Enjoy the trip. A urethral stent.
This is like having to pee for a month.
This is nothing good. There's no fun part about a urethral stent, except for the drugs they give you before and after. Shit. Oh, look. Respect my peeps. Been there, hated it. Did you enjoy the stent? Did you think it was? I mean, it's good to piss out of your dick for a while instead of having everything backed up and you're going, oh, I'm gonna splurge. You stand there in front of the silver wall of destiny and go, what? I've never been shy before. Then you stand in front of the porcelain of my home and you're going, what? You said you needed it. I'm not that old. I'm not like AIDSy. Because I stand in front of the porcelain sometimes. I've really got this fucking camera positioned badly, but it's not my camera. And I can't fix it. So I'll be looking down like an autist all night, which is, I am an autist. So I'll be comfortable. Yeah. Anyway, you stand in front of the porcelain and go, come on, when you're old like me. Yeah, come on. You wanted it. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. You woke me up. And then there's nothing. And you just go, well, I am disgusted. Then you whack on the pewty for a couple of minutes and you go, oh, now I need to go again. Really? Really? Is that I've just wet my undies, so maybe I should. So, yeah. Just go what you look forward to. How do you, Angry? You ever had a haircut? You look good.
Yes, I did get. Well, I started a new job. I always, not always, but I usually get a haircut to start a new job. Start a new job this week. People being asked about where you live. AIDSy lives in an apartment building. Gecko thinks it looks brighter. Maybe you just changed where your lights are.
Here now.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's actual light. That's the thing. Here and now, there's actual light. In fact, the light's behind me, and it is bouncing because of the prospect, the fucking properties of luminosity. It's bouncing off two walls and lighting my face gorgeously. So there's lights everywhere, and the lights were bought because they were the cheapest things you could get. So you turn them on, and they're like, ah. So can you see, right? So they're studio bright lights all through the house.
Okay.
And when you go to bed at night, it's like, ah, and then you turn off the lights and go, the monsters are coming to get me. Thank fucking Christ. So yeah, that's why it looks so beautiful. But I think Angry looks beautiful. Angry, how much of your new job are you allowed to tell us, or is it secret squirrels?
Oh, it's just the usual sort of stuff I do.
AD, you live in a share house or by yourself, my friend? Funny you should mention that. Technically, I live on my own, right? There are studio apartments. So imagine one room as big as a jail cell, but slightly smaller. And then you've got like a ensuite bathroom thing. So it's a shit house and a toilet that they've like in there. And there's the funniest thing, there's a vanity unit, like a sink, and it's so small you can't actually wash your hands in there. You can't actually get your hands in there. So you've got to, give it a little bit of fingers first, then the palms of your hands, then the backs. You've been there, Angry. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah. Right? So, yeah, you don't wash your hands. Go for a piss and get your hands wet, which is easier said than done, but we're not going to get into that tonight. Because the backlash is so bad. So I live on my own, but my boyfriend is often there, like 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And so we live in this one room side by side, and it is awfully good at making relationships communicative. One of us has got to get to the fridge, the other one is. If one of us has got to get to the one's got to move. So this is done just, subconsciously. If you have an argument, right, you have to settle that argument now. You can't go anywhere. There is nowhere to run. You can't hide in the room. If you've had an argument, you have to deal with it immediately. You have to resolve it now. And that's been an interesting experience, having to deal with that. Right now, you've done something wrong. Like they've done something wrong. And you've got to get to the part where, well, the wrong part that I did was this, and the wrong part that is the way we will change our behavior to make it okay is this. And it's really, really full on. I suggest everyone should do it and leave knives, sharp things, and firearms out of the house.
Good advice. Good advice.
So technically, I live on my own. I don't, though. My boyfriend lives with me, and he's supposed to make all the decisions on my health, says my GP. Fuck my GP. Because I used to come home, right?
Yeah.
From my GP with an edited highlights package of what we'd been talking about, so that people at home and on the phone, a la my mother, would have a decent understanding of all the difficult Latin terms and all of the strange diseases that people didn't need to know about. Hospitalisation next week would be fine. So I used to come with a package that everybody got.
Right. Okay. I'm just going to throw in, You're okay. I'm going to keep talking because you keep breaking up. So I'm not really talking over you because nothing you're saying is coming through, and probably feels like I'm talking over you from your end. But you'd been dropping down to about 5 frames a second, and the audio started dropping out. So now that I've got that through, we can see if we can keep going. No, I can't hear you at all. I think you've gone bye-byes. You might have to try disconnecting and reconnecting. The old magical switch it off and switch it back on again and see if that works. There he goes. All right, he's gone bye-bye. Restart for AIDSy. Gecko, would you want to stream Player One to me? Look, I'm not that fast. I mean, I know you've been keen for me to watch it, but I'm slightly weirded out that it isn't on any streaming service. It doesn't make an enormous amount of sense to me. But I've got so much else to watch. I'm watching so many other things. I've got other things to catch up on. I'm not really big up to it. Lex Trooper, how have I been? I've been fine, thank you. Yes, as I was saying a little bit before, started a new job. It's like I'm Mr. Cybersecurity expert now. Done a couple of security jobs in a row. Now I think that's what everyone thinks I'm an expert in. When I'm honestly more of a general knowledge guy. Megaleech, I have only watched episode 1 of season 4 of The Expanse. And as is typical for The Expanse, didn't they jam a lot into that season opener? It's like they're just going, okay, we've got to make people really want to watch this and jam a whole bunch of excitement into episode 1 of the new season. It's off to a flying start. It's looking good. Hey, all you wonderful people, get you to do me a favor if it's at all possible. What I am doing tonight through the magic of StreamYard is streaming to both YouTube and Twitch. Now, I think everyone's watching through YouTube, which is fine and dandy. If anyone has a Twitch account and hasn't already followed my Twitch account, then you would be doing me an enormous favor by going and what do they call it on Twitch? They call it following. So if you could go over there, send friend requests or the follow whatever the heck it's called on Twitch. So because I might try and build something on that. So you would be doing me a good old jolly favor if you went over to Twitch. I'll put the link in. Twitch username is just okay. There you go. It's Angry Aussie. That's the link there. So yes, if you went and followed me on Twitch, you would be doing me quite the favor, and I would be grateful for that. Because I might try and build something out of the whole Twitch thing. YouTube is stagnant at best. Thanks, Glee. You're going to have to do it. YouTube is stagnant at best, and there is some potential for growth on Twitch. I mean, I'm obviously never going to be a huge presence on Twitch like all those big gamer channels, freaky ones where they get like 30,000 people watching them play a game. That's obviously not a thing. But hey, what they call it, the whole affiliate and partner thing. Maybe I can get somewhere with that. Who knows? Who knows? It's a strange and mysterious world, and strange and mysterious things happen in it. Oh, that's an interesting point, Starlight. In terms of lag, Twitch is slightly ahead of YouTube. There you go. It's always hard to predict, although it's usually quite safe to predict. If I'm streaming to Facebook, it lags a lot more. It lags like twice as much as YouTube. Gecko, that's your Twitch handle is Starlight528. Cool. Nug, hello to you, sir. How are you this fine? Well, it's evening for me. I always lose track of where everyone is in the world, so I'm not exactly sure what time of day it is for you. But whatever time, I hope you're doing fine. Yes, Musical Ed, we have been very lucky of the state, but nothing compared to what happened in New South Wales, particularly with everyone in New South Wales choking on smoke. Not good. Sydney's been shrouded in smoke. I did see someone showing a picture of Canberra is all covered in smoke as well. 3:21 a.m. for you. Oh, wow. Yes, no, there is a point that Johnson's about to steer the UK to a no-deal Brexit. I think, Justin, you sent me the photo, didn't you? How cloud smoky it was in Canberra. Like a stripper, I should play games. Look, it potentially would be fun to do gaming and try and have conversations that would be broken up by even more swearing than usual from me out of frustration at the game. But who knows? Who knows? Yes, look, I did see South Australia's getting 40s for 4 days in a row. Again, Melbourne is missing the worst of it. I just feel like we're really going to pay for this in like January and February. We're getting like it was warm. It was high 20s today, high 30s tomorrow, then dropping back down to low mid 20s, and then 40 on Friday. So we get a little bit of a break, unlike I think everywhere from Perth all the way across South Australia and into New South Wales was getting like 4 days in a row of 40 Celsius. Like I'm sure it's going to be 44 on Friday. Well, the predictions are some of the inland places that get the phenomenally hot temperature could well exceed 50 Celsius in the next couple of days. Not great. As I've said, every time that comes up, these places hitting 50 Celsius, again, that's not a temperature humans can actually survive. That is inimical to human well-being. It's not good at all. Starlight, do I have VLC? Probably. I was going to get some technical help with the whole thing. Glee, you're avoiding Facebook haters. Yeah, you get some weird ones. The deniers, climate change deniers, the racists. They're always fun. So just to all, you had 6 days over 38 in Perth. Yes, 3 days 40. Perth copped a fucking hammering, and then when Perth got some relief, it pushed the hot front across South Australia and into the eastern states. But yeah, Perth was copping a fucking pasting in the hot weather. Stella, you reckon chat and everything's better on Twitch? I'm literally just starting to experiment with Twitch, and we will see how that goes, because the good folk at StreamYard let me stream to 2 platforms at the same time. So that's what I'm doing. This is the first time I've done YouTube and Twitch. Last week, because I was honoring the hashtag YouTube walkout, I didn't live stream to YouTube last week. So I live streamed to Facebook and Twitch for the first time. So look, let's try and build up some followers on Twitch. See what happens. See where it goes. PBR, I am going to see Rise of Skywalker on Thursday morning before work. So you only just now got notification about the YouTube stream. What are we, half an hour into it? Okay, cool. Where's AZ? He was having internet troubles, and he's probably struggling. So he hasn't even texted me, so I don't know. But I don't know if we'll see him back. So Justin, you're going to Tassie. That is, Jeff. Okay, that's not an unwise thing, Justin. Keep your most valuable documents with you because you're worried about a bushfire burning down your house while you're gone. Yep. Yes, clearly. I'm not sure I exactly had to charm the good folk at StreamYard. I just had to pay for an account. Because there are other ways to do it that require quite a bit of technical expertise. And StreamYard is beautiful because it requires no technical expertise whatsoever. And that is very appealing to me because I hate having to learn new technologies. So, yeah. Yes, I don't think AZ's on the NBN. He, like I said, he's in an apartment building that has, like shared connection throughout the building. So it's really shitty and unreliable. Abigail, hello. How are you? So if you broke your sunglasses but got your first car. Well, swings and roundabouts. Swings around. Like it's true. What can we do about our dumbass Prime Minister being an idiot lately? I think he's on the verge of copping some really serious backlash because he has absolutely fucked up his response to the bushfire crisis, which is, of course, an offshoot of the climate crisis. And people are just going, what the fuck? What the fuck are you doing? And because he's just literally stumbled into his role, and he's absolutely incompetent. He's absolutely unqualified to be Prime Minister, and it fucking shows. So for years, what's his face acting PM? The PM did not even make a formal announcement that he was leaving the fucking country and nominate someone as acting Prime Minister. Like, what the fuck? Like, you reckon Dutton will try and stab him in the back? I think Dutton's stupid enough to try that, which would be fucking hilarious. Absolutely fucking hilarious. Abigail's chronic fatigue. Chronic anything is shit. AZ has chronic pain and various other chronic illnesses. Chronic fatigue, I know a few people with that. Anything chronic is just shit because every day is just a fucking struggle to deal with it. So imagine if Trump suddenly disappeared. Be a bit of a cheer would go up, I imagine. That was the joke I was making. Scummo chose pretty much the anniversary of former Prime Minister Harold Holt disappearing in the ocean to disappear off on his second overseas holiday of the year. And there's a lot of people pointed out with all the non-stop barrage of attacks on Julia Gillard. Could you imagine if she took 2 overseas holidays in a year? Particularly if she took one when the fucking country was burning down and the fire chiefs were begging for some meaningful action from Canberra. It's just It's such a pile of bullshit. Oh my God, Lucas Trip, you think Dutton's going to be our PM? Well, he does grossly underestimate how much people hate him, which is hilarious. But yeah. Fox, good question. When will we get Kev Logan back on? We should. I always enjoy having Kev on or being on Kev's channel. Either way works. Is always good fun. No, the Murdoch Rag's been quiet on this. Well, let's do a quick look. Like, I'll look at the news headlines and see who's reporting on it. Let's see what comes up on the news headlines. Okay, yes, our heat wave, records being broken, events cancelled, people hospitalised, careful or you will die. So, the full coverage of Scummo on holidays. News.com.au, which is the Murdoch one, says Scott Morrison on holidays, bushfires burn across Australia. Yeah, there you go. The Guardian tells the acting PM is Michael McCormack, shithead who's head of the Nationals, who no one can ever remember his name or what he looks like. I certainly. I'm a political tragic, and I can never remember his name or what he looks like. It's just fucking Deputy Prime Minister, leader of the National Party. Who's that? Is that? Yeah, SBS have run the hashtag where the bloody hell are you on Scummo. So he is copping a bit, and people are also trying to get the hashtag Morrison fires happening, which is good. At our age, you get more chronic illness. It's like, what the fuck? Oh my God. You gotta feel gradually bits of my body giving up, my knees, my back. So the star. Okay, you were talking about Gecko. You were talking about your job interview, and it pays well. The elevator union, nice. Well, 2 thumbs up for you. That does sound excellent. So all the best wishes for things going well for you. It'd be great. Oh, okay. Difficult question, Locust Trooper. Who's the dumbest Prime Minister, Scummo or Tony Abbott? Well, see, Tony Abbott was actively evil. Tony Abbott is actively evil. Scummo is just like a spiv from the marketing department who's been promoted so far out of his fucking depth. And I mean, he's a piece of shit. He's absolutely a piece of shit. But Abbott is, Abbott was just fucking diabolical. In terms of worst PM, I would say Abbott was worse. But it's, it's bloody shades of difference. It's kind of, would you like to get your hand slammed in a car door or your dick slammed in a car door? I don't want either. And trying to decide which is least painful and least awful is quite difficult. Yes, I think that's known as the Peter Principle. And this is particularly true for straight white men in the business world, tend to get promoted to your level of incompetence. It's like, oh, you're doing well in that job. Let's promote you. You're doing well in your promotion. Let's promote you again. Oh, you're shit at that now. Well, that's the end of the line for you. You just stay with me. Okay. Okay, ADZ is still trying to reconnect, so we may yet see him. Happy Couch, you think that's my fetish? Choosing between slamming my hand and slamming my dick in a car door. Zafa, should Vic Cops get more than 2% of what is the big question? What are they getting 2% of? 2% of all the drugs they confiscate. Well, looks like AIDS's back. Yeah, look at here he is.
Let's hope I'm back. Did you get my message on the electric telephone?
I did that you were still trying to get on, so that's good.
And here I am with slightly knitted brow. The knitted brow isn't necessarily for concern. It's mostly due to the fact that I'm getting old. And I should have brought my glasses with me, but I didn't. And they're not to just see stuff, all right? I don't walk around the house, well, I do around the house, but around the world with my glasses on because I trip over shit. Because they're for seeing things close up. Because when I read now, I've got to read things as far away as possible, but then I can't read the fine. You know, my arms aren't long enough.
Long-sighted.
Well, kind of, but I've got astigmatism. One of my eyes is lazier than the other. We can't work out which one.
Okay. Which one's the immigrant? They're the lazy ones. That's what they tell me.
Oh, they're both immigrants. They both are. One of them cleans offices and the other one sells gold. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Can't be found during a daytime between the hours of 10 and 4 because they're busily doing their gold harvesting.
Right.
Yeah. I'm not saying they're dirty, black, bloody burglars, but I'm saying...
Okay, so long as you're not saying that, that's okay.
I was going to say that.
See, you're stumbling
actually, this brings me on. I don't know if you've already said it, to Mr. Falau and his statements. Is he actually doing anything illegal? Since the platform he's on is hosted overseas.
No, he's not doing anything illegal. No one ever said he was doing anything illegal. But his employer said, part of your contract is don't act like a complete cunt and bring us into disrepute. And you're doing that. So it was a breach of his contract. It was nothing to do with legality. What he was doing was definitely not against the law. And in fact, I'd arc up if someone started to say, saying that sort of shit should get you sort of criminal judgments. It's like even that one fucking cockhead in the UK who sicked all his deranged, sycophantic fans onto me. This guy, taught his dog to do a little Nazi salute when he said "gas the Jews" or something, because he said that was the most awful thing he could imagine doing and stuff. And this guy then joined the fucking UKIP, the racist anti-immigration party. So it's like it's not much of a joke, mate, when everything you do publicly is to be an obnoxious fucking bigot. Now, he actually was prosecuted and convicted under being a mean person laws in the UK. And I actually think that was bullshit. I think he's an arsehole, and I think he's a liar, and I think he's a bigot. And he's one of those slimy fucks who he's going, oh, no, I'm not a bigot. I'm just making jokes. He's basically trying to normalize hate speech. It's like, I'm not actually anti-Semitic. I just did this because I thought it would be funny to do something awful. It's like, no, you're trying to normalize hate speech so the actual swastika-wearing Nazis can get under the radar a bit more. And that guy's a fucking liar and a bigot and just an absolute piece of shit. But I still think getting him a criminal conviction was fucked. Just for making a bad taste, obnoxious, bigoted joke to actually get a criminal charge because of that, I think that's going a bit far.
I want to get back to calling these people cuntbags. But one of the funniest things I saw was a Muslim comic get up, and he's got this little book of anti-Jew jokes, and he starts to read off the anti-Jew jokes. And then he gets to, oh, shit, David, I can't say that. And then goes on, oh, fuck, David, no, man, I can't do that. And he keeps on going, and he goes, David's surname. I think he might ring him up. David, come on, man. Half the book. I can't say that shit. I know they're Jew jokes. I know you wrote them, but fucking... Oh, really? Oh, that's harsh, dude. Okay, I'll put you on the phone. Puts him at the microphone. Hi, I'm David, blah, 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 and this is my joke, and I'm not actually recorded. And here's my joke. Ta-da! And the Muslim guy goes, yeah, dude, the fucking aristocrats. Anyway, we'll talk. And I met the guy. I met David, and I said, how'd that work? And he said, I had to sit for the fucking phone every night by about 8:15 to 8:20, waiting for the call. And they used to hang out together all the time because they were good mates. And David wrote half his show all the time. They were writers together. And they said, the amount of shit we get from both fucking communities was a big fucking eye-opener. He said, the home team, there's a lot of fucking hatred out there. Oh, yeah. And they were going to write a joke about hatred, and they were going to come on stage together. And they got death threats. And they went, funny's funny, but it ain't worth that. I'm getting fucking killed over it. But they said, yeah, big fucking eye-opener. Anyway, so, that was just Christians and Muslims hanging out. When you're talking about Christians killing gays, I've got some history about that. I know a few things about that. I personally, for example, was targeted by a Christian group who was doing Jesus' work, who tried literally to murder me twice.
Little did they know they were picking the unkillable one.
I know, right? And you fuck up. And I also discovered it doesn't matter how good you fight. Let's say you're really, really good. Let's say you're Bruce Lee standard, and you take out 4 guys, right? There's still another 6 to hold you, and you don't have time. You don't have time to take them all out, and they will grab you, and you will get a vassoed ass. Forget it. If there's a group of guys that are going to hurt you, hurt as many as you can. Don't go down easy, but hurt as many as you can. And I say that because of Israel's comments, because it's the kind of thing that young gays need to know, is to know how to fight. You see these twinks and they're beautiful. And they are beautiful, trust me. And they, they twink about the face, and I love the hell out of them, and I want them to know how to stop 3 guys from kicking shit out of them. I want them to know that because I love their face, which is twinked about and got a pink hair colour through streaks, and. I want them to know if they're caught in a dark alley, get this one, get that one, then run! Run fast.
Act crazy, then run.
Seriously, no matter what happens in any kind of altercation, the last action is run. Get out of there.
I did see a self-defense video on YouTube. This guy has a whole bunch of self-defense things, runs classes, he's like 10th Dan black belt or whatever, and he shows all these disarming techniques. He shows, quick knockdown techniques, and he's going, now this is the important one, and he gets like 6 of his students up, and he's going, I'm going to show you how you take on 6 people, and there's 6 of them lined up, and he goes, okay, and he just runs. He just ran away.
Good work. work, my man.
And then he came back and he said, "There is no beating 6 guys."
Yeah,
Okay?
no, there's no beating these guys. Run away. Yeah, run away. Find a crowd and say, for Christ's sake, call the cops.
Yeah.
Scream, call the cops as you're running through the crowd.
Yeah.
And then when they see people running after you, they'll call the cops.
Yeah.
I told everyone I got punched in the face last time I was here. Surely.
You came on. It was only a couple of days after you got punched. Your nose actually still looked wonky.
Yeah. It was still a little bit. Yeah.
A little bit swollen or something from where you'd been punched. So I guess we've got people asking, are there more bigots in Australia than anywhere else? Saf is wondering, do we have most? No, we have our own sort of bigot. I feel like we, by and large, this is not universally true, but by and large, we have really lazy bigots.
Oh, yeah.
They're really judgmental and bigoted and prejudiced. But most of the time can't be asked actually doing anything about it.
They're not going out of their house to do anything about it. They'll sit there on the couch going, don't like those puffs or blacks or Jews. Better get another beer then. And that's it. That's as far as it goes. They don't like anyone, but they don't do anything about it. You know, and you think, they got the corridor, they got the cupboard of guns. Nope. Didn't bother getting a license, which is actually quite tricky in Australia. You've got to go through a lot of hoops. And most of the time, you've got to keep the gun at the gun club anyway. You're not allowed to have it at the house. It's just really lazy. However, you do get the ones on the street, and they are really special.
Well, you get the ones who make an effort, like a bunch of stupid boys, and the ringleader of which is usually desperately repressing the sexual attractions he's feeling, and he's proving to everyone else that he definitely doesn't feel that way by going out and bashing. And of course, you had the fucking serial killers in Sydney in the late 80s, early 90s, who were never caught. That's one of my favorite things. Like, for people who don't know, you go look at the gay murders in Sydney in the 90s. A whole bunch of gay guys were turning up dead, and the cops had zero interest in investigating it. And they were calling them suicides because there was a beat that was like, I think it was on...
Okay, hang on. Angry, can I just quickly jump in and do a bit of geography lesson? Okay, the main port of Sydney is a fantastic port. It's deep harbour port. It's fantastic. Ships love it come through. And it's got this big entry with these fucking huge cliffs, massive cliffs, right? And they are virtually vertical. And ships go in and out. And it's perfect. And houses go right up to the edge of the cliff. It's virtually a park. You can go right up the edge of the cliff. There's a little bushland park that you can go up there. It's a favourite haunt of your homosexual to get onto the homosexuals. Unfortunately, take it away, Angry.
Yeah, it was basically a park that went right up to the cliff, and there was a public toilet there, and people had sort of set up an assignation, and there was a rash in the early 90s and this was, the thing is, it was probably just like suburban kids luring gay men down there and then beating them really badly, and in multiple cases throwing them off the cliff. And cops who had zero interest in investigating it were just saying, suicide, the gays, full of self-loathing, they just went there to kill themselves. And finally, 2 cops did a proper investigation. Neither of them were gay. There was one male, one female cop led this investigation.
And they were straight. They were totally straight.
They were vilified by the other cops.
And they went to the coroner and said, would you mind awfully doing a regressive bloody numbers on these suicides? And the coroner's going, have you any idea how long it takes? And the cops are going, yes. And the coroner did the regressive numbers and went, fuck me, the numbers spike. Like, you cannot explain this spike. That's embarrassing. Like, everyone was going, it was finally out that, not nice choice of words there, Ozzy. It was finally out that there's no suicides here. This is not a suicide jump.
Yeah.
It's just impossible. Take it away, Andrew. I've got to get more water. Can I come back?
Yeah, definitely.
Thanks,
so
man.
There were basically dozens of murders, and the cops eventually proved that a bunch of these things that had been declared suicides were actually murders. And no one was caught. No one was punished. And that's the bit that freaks me out probably the most of it about it. Like, it's very bad that happened, that someone thought that was a thing to do, to go and murder all these guys. But they were never caught. And these people would have grown up and had kids. They're fucking serial killers. And it is really quite disturbing to me that there's this group of people who committed multiple murders, got away with it, and in fact, they saw consistently from the cops didn't care and were probably actively applauding it. And so it's basically these serial killers they've grown up with the situational reinforcement that if you don't like someone, you murder them and you might get away with it, which is super friggin' disturbing, quite honestly. Charlie, did the cops do it? I think there would be a non-zero number of murders of gay guys perpetrated by the cops. That's the mildest I'll put it. That there are a non-zero number of cases where the cops committed homophobic murders and racist murders, for that matter, too, and misogynist murders. Oh, Aidsy's fixed up a new drink. There you go. He's got his new drink happening. He's happy. So now he's got a new drink. He's going to put his headset back on. Then I'll turn his microphone back on because he's back with us now.
No more screeching for me. Every time I've taken my head off, going, it's going to be fine, it's going to be fine, there's been this feedback. I won't say feedback, I'll say shriek back. And everybody's going, ow, it sucks. You know, no one's got any spine. Like this poor bastard's got thrown off a cliff. They caught a couple and they got gay panic defense.
Yeah.
Have you told them about the gay panic defense?
I think you mentioned before. Before you should explain it because you've got a drink. I'm going to go and get a drink. And before you do, who wants to know? Gecko wants to know what the red and white thing hanging up on the wall behind you is.
The red and white thing. Oh, that, right. My dear papa is into the football club St Kilda. We have tried to discourage him as such, but he won't be dissuaded. It's a little bit like having the gay in the family, you know? You say, do you want to go to camp? And they go, yes, I'd like to stop my sin. And you take them to camp, and one of the camp supervisors is always secretly a St Kilda supporter. So they get on in the middle of the night and they talk scores. But anyway, yeah, he's in a St Kilda. That's what's hanging up there. He's got a hat. So yeah, gay panic defense. Alrighty, how that worked was this. Was that because AIDS was so prevalent, if there were one gay that was attacking or about to attack, and that's the important part, about to attack 4 men, right? They could claim that they thought he was going to give them AIDS because he would rape them all and they panicked and killed him, right? And so it had to work with 4 men, right? The fact that 6 could kill you and 2 of them could bugger off didn't matter as long as it was 4 guys. And something like 290 something guys got murdered under this defense. You know, there were guys who were multiply getting off with gay panic. Look, it was terrifying. It was legal murder, and it was all throughout the late 80s and early 90s. It was shocking. Until one, and he was a gay judge, but one judge got up there and this twink got killed. This twink couldn't have been more than 80 kilos, maybe. You know what I mean?
Probably
like between 60 and 70, really, right? Yeah. And these 4 front rower rugby players who between them weighed a ton were claiming gay panic. And the judges turned around and said, right, one 65 kilo kid has made you feel like he's going to rape you. No, that's not a real thing. One of you could have blown on him and he would have fallen over. He's not any threat to you. He was no threat to you. You went out gay bashing and you murdered him with glee and with fun because you're even smiling now. I've had enough of this shit. You're all being done for murder. And they've all gone, but we've killed a poor for that. You're not supposed to, And they all went away. And then judges across New South Wales saying, yeah, no, fuck this shit. And they all went, yeah, no more gay panic. This is bullshit. And by that time, too, the AIDS panic had started to subside because the Australian government had done a wonderful job of shutting down AIDS infection rates, not stopping it, but they'd stopped new people getting it, right? And they'd gotten a whole generation of people to be put on condoms, and to know how to wear condoms as opposed to now where they don't. STIs went down. There was an unforeseen consequence. Everything got better. Then you get fucktards like the Jerry Seinfeld show doing a whole episode like, I don't like wearing the condom. Again, you get the whole fucktards like Jerry Springer going, oh, no, you can't have naked. I didn't want to see that. And it's like, it's the guy's change room. Guess what? You're going to see a cock, guys. You don't have to do anything with it. He's just going to fucking dry himself. And now, nobody fucking, oh, God, no, you can't see a dick in the changing rooms. I've had people going, oh, the Chinese guys are fucking, they're really weird. They just walk out of the shower with their dick showing and everything. That's because in most of the world, that happens. You get these fucking attitudes off these stupid American TVs coming at you. And basically you had this whole bloody campaign in Australia to say, listen, put a condom on your dick, you'll be fine. And then you had a whole bunch of our intact, uncut guys going, I don't get the same sensation. Then the Australian government said, you will if you do this and this. And the trick is to put a little tiny drop of lube in the bottom of your of the tip of the condom.
On the inside,
On the inside. Just as it's rolled up, blink, and then you unroll it, and it's, baby, everything works. So you still get guys who go, oh, I don't want to do it. You know, and I heard some guy saying, "Oh, you know, you got to be careful because at the last moment she might pull the goalie," meaning she might fucking stop herself getting pregnant. And guys, take fucking responsibility yourself, cockhead, because then that way you won't get herpes, you won't get fucking gonorrhea, you won't get syphilis. And these days, finding syphilis is really hard. It's not. It's actually not. But because you're not looking for it, you won't see it. You get secondary syphilis like that.
Fun fact, the most recent health report, the demographic with the highest rate of HIV infection in Australia today is heterosexual men.
No. Are you kidding me? Are you shocking me?
Don't take any precautions. That is the group with the highest rate of HIV infection in Australia. So
did you know what, Angry? Because this freaks me out.
I know. You could never believe a group who won't use condoms could end up getting diseases. Yes.
Do you know what blows my mind? Because in the 90s, the highest group with the highest rate of HIV infections was, in fact, heterosexual males. What the fuck? It's like history's repeating itself, but I've got an interesting point about that. What are you drinking?
Well, does that look green? It's like I'm not getting the true color. It's like Star Wars green milk. Eggnog. I ironically got eggnog last week. But I found various things it goes really well with and tastes fantastic. And I'm experimenting a bit tonight. I had white creme de cacao for the chocolatey flavor, and I put my blue absinthe in it as well, which diluted it so it's green, and it's really nice.
It looks nice. It looks really lovely.
It's really good. I'm trying to drink it slowly because that's the 80% alcohol. I only put half a shot in, so that's like a full shot of vodka or whatever. But it's really nice.
Yeah, man, it looks really nice. I was going to go on with my rant. Yeah, back in the old days, it was 80%, because it was the gay disease, right? Everyone said, "Oh, you gays are bad because they're going to get the gay disease, and they're going to touch us and give it to us all." And then it was the bi disease, and we should kill them because they're taking it from the bad people to the normal people. Fuck you. And essentially, effectively what happened was that what was going on was that there was a lot of anal sex in the heterosexual community. Bet you don't know that 90% of anal sex happens in the heterosexual community. This is by capita, not the whole group. This is percentage of. So anyway,
I tell you what, I want to interrupt briefly on that. I learned basically everything I learned about sex from my brother-in-law's 1970s Penthouse mags that had the letters section, Penthouse Forum, which was the source of. You have to be kind of old to get this joke to say, "I never thought this would happen to me." But
yes.
And I tell you, among the things I learned from the Penthouse letters section was there was much more guy-on-guy action happening than anyone was ever admitting publicly. This was completely outside of the gay scene. More guys were bi than anyone was admitting to, but also guys who, if you asked them, would have absolutely self-identified as hetero, but they went on camping trips with the boys and had a few drinks, and Jesus, there was a lot of that. Like in any sort of men's publication today, they'd be too paranoid to have that sort of thing. But Penthouse in the 70s were like, fuck yeah, let's just do cocaine and have sex with anyone.
Yes, indeed. It was very much like that in those days. The other thing that was going on, There's a lot of anal sex going on, and there was a lot of weird blood-to-blood transfer. And we're not talking about medical transfer, though there was a lot of medical transfer accidentally. They didn't know much about it. But there's a lot of blood-to-blood transfer in really weird ways, like skinning your knuckles, and then basically blood-to-blood transferring through another injury of another person. And I'm not talking about the automotive industry. The automotive industry was actually really, really careful about bloodborne disease, because they got told, look out for bloodborne disease. Anyway, there's two things that are really important. Death Goes Bowling was really important. Okay, there's this whole campaign where the Grim Reaper, right, got this 10 pins of just normal Australians. They deliberately, I think, got as much inclusion as they could, and they did
women
3 or 4.
children,
Women and children and black guys and Asian guys and white guys and everyone they could. A couple of tradies in there, and they did a few frames. They did a few frames of this, so I could get as many as. And Death and his mate's Death had a bowling ball, and they said, AIDS doesn't care about you. And the bowling ball comes down, and down they go, and they all just die. So there was that one. The other one was really nice. Was, so you're having sex with this person. Who do they have sex with? And all these beds come lighting up behind their bed, around their bed. Who did they have sex with? And then around their bed, more and more and more. And, of course, this is the days before CGI. They had 3,000 people in this warehouse just to do this ad. It was stunningly good. It was just stunningly good, and the point was made, who are you reading? So there was that. And the next thing they did, and this is the bit where I'm getting to the point, was they said, we are putting free condom machines in every public toilet in Australia. And they did, and the pubs were going, we don't know about this. And the Australian government said, do you like your licence? And the pubs were going, yeah, we're right up for this. And the pubs were also given a commission on the condoms. They were given 10 cents a packet. So the pubs were starting to put their own condom machines in, a few. And they were finding that they were empty. Every night they were empty. So they were restocking. Every night they were gone, right? The Australian government made them go into supermarkets. The supermarkets weren't happy about that. And then they all sold. Then the supermarkets were happy about that. Then they went into convenience stores. Then they went into 24-hour convenience stores. And just the whole place was flooded with condoms. And they were subsidised. They were frankly subsidised until such time as the rubber companies went, we don't need this anymore, buddy. And they said to the government, we just don't need it anymore. We're making money hand over fist. And they were. And then they got into different brands and styles, and they discovered lube, and they were just, they just went crazy with what you could get, and they sold it. Anyway, I met some Americans. Okay? Yeah. And they came out. The other thing they did in Australia was they had needle bins, sharps bins. So if you gave yourself, because the big complaint was the needles end up all over the floor. Or you can't walk anywhere with crunch, crunch, crunch. There's needles everywhere. Yeah. So the idea was you shoot up and then you put your needle in the bin. Doesn't matter, it's gone now. And it was great. So all the needles went away, and then the people would come and empty them, and it was great, And I met these Americans who came to Australia for a comedy festival, and then they saw the condom vending machine. Went, what's that? It sounds condom vending machine. They're going, oh, that's fair enough for them. Then they saw the needle bin, and then they said, well, what's that? And I said, it's a needle bin. You put, you put used needles in. And they said, well, hey, I like to root and I like to get high, but I don't need it that much. And I'm going, well, I'm sure you don't. That's fine. And what these guys couldn't get through their head was they weren't personally for them. It was
telling you this story. You virtually had to explain it's not mandatory, dude. We're not saying you have to use syringes, okay? It's why do you think this makes it compulsory?
And we talked about it a little while, and what became apparent was everything here is for me. Everything here is for me. It's my thing. So the condom machines are making me buy condoms, and the needle bins so I must use needles. And it's like, no, dude, it's for all kinds of people who aren't you. And they were like giving me the, what are you talking about? And I had to slowly take them through this idea that, the taxation basically goes through everyone. And they're immediately going socialist. And I'm going, no, wait. Because what happens is there's no needles on the floor and people who root basically don't get AIDS.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's what happens. Is they don't get AIDS and there's no needles on the floor. You don't. You pay your taxes so that you're not crunching needles, and so that your next root will not give you diseases. And they're going, oh, I got a disease from blah blah blah. Oh, I got a disease from blah blah blah. And I crashed the party and said, did any of you get AIDS? And it just really shut it down. And they went, nah. And I said, how do you know? And I told a male friend, you got to use a condom for anal. He condescendingly told me, you can't get pregnant in the bum. Anyway, a few years later, he got chlamydia. And you just go...
It's a health thing. It's not just a pregnancy thing. It's a prophylactic barrier. Like,
you can't get pregnant in the bum. No, you can't.
How is Babby made?
Yeah, how is Babby made? Yeah.
Oh, God. There's vaping talk going on there. Gecko's saying there's news articles linking lung disease with vaping. It was super weird in as much as there was this mad panic in the US when maybe half a dozen deaths got linked to vaping, and it turns out like their vape juice had contaminants in it. And it was like, okay, and so they were introducing all these really harsh laws about vaping. And it's like in the same period that 6 people maybe died from vaping, several thousand died because of smoking cigarettes, and hundreds died in gun violence, and no attempt to curb either of those was made. But oh my God, 6 vaping deaths, fucking panic. It's like Kinder eggs are still illegal in the US because they think kids will swallow them whole and choke on the plastic, but kids can fucking get guns in America. It's like, it's so strange.
It's different. I mean, the Tide bloody challenge was different to getting shot by a gun. It was
my personal favorite thing about the Tide Pod thing is someone started it as a joke, saying kids are getting high eating these fucking detergent pod things, and it was not happening. And they managed to whip the media into a fucking moral panic about kids trying to get high off Tide Pods. And then people, particularly on YouTube, just started going, what's it actually like if you bite one of them? And so people started making videos where they actually did it. It was one of those weird cyclical things in that it wasn't happening, and some 4chan types managed to get the joke spread that kids were eating Tide Pods to get high, and then people started going, well, what happens if you do bite one? And of course, you just got an absolutely filthy, fucking horrible taste in your mouth is what happens. Like detergent is gross.
And a picture on 4chan.
Yeah, exactly.
Bloody, yeah. Sorry, I was just going to finish off for these Americans.
Yeah, sorry, go for it, yeah.
And basically I said, how many of you got AIDS? And they went, oh, well, none of us. I said, when was your last test? Oh, well, tests are expensive. Okay, give blood. What? Give blood, I'll test you. And I'll tell you the results. In fact, in America, of course, they'll pay you, so give blood.
Yeah.
And they're all sort of looking at me like, I don't know about that. Well, give blood here. You'll get the results in 15 minutes. 15 minutes? Yeah, and it's free. Well, how much do they pay you? They pay you nothing. Somebody's trying to call me on the electric telephone. Oh, yeah.
Is someone you need to talk to?
No, my bloody air conditioner's out. It's been 38 degrees here. When I get home, it's going to be 44, and I'm not coming home to a 44-degree day.
No.
That is not going to happen. So I am encouraging him to fix the, they call it the air conditioner, because my flat is really shitty, frankly. And the only thing that is really good, and okay, when you have a shower, the shower, it's a 40-litre hot water tank, which means you have a 5-minute shower. Has there ever been a non-electric telephone? Yes, there has.
Abigail's taking this. Well, technically, the landlines didn't use. Oh, I guess they did use electricity in a form, but they weren't plugged into a power main. Like they weren't plugged into.
Oh yeah, not in your house. No, they weren't plugged in your house, which was weird because your power could go out and you could still ring the electric company. Anywho, so I've told these Americans they can go and get a blood test for free, and they're all freaking out. I said, go tomorrow and get a blood test for free here in Australia. And you won't get paid, but you'll get your results back in 15 minutes. And they sort of go, and they come back in the morning and go, oh, yeah, I'm free, so I can do whatever I want, and I can plough through the fields of Australia. And I said, no, you can't, because the girls here will insist that you're wearing rubber. And they go, well, I don't want to wear rubber. And I said, okay, boys, come with me. So I took them to the mall, the shopping centre. I said, you want that, and you look wide, so you'll want that. And because they go between 52 and 54 millimetres. And don't pretend. Just go with what's yours because you'll have a way better experience.
Yeah.
And you have a way better experience and they won't slip off. Slipping off is bad. You get these, what do they call them? Stealth rooters who like to slip off their condom and go crazy without it. That's not helping you.
Sexual assault.
It's sexual assault. Absolutely, no question.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to basically get people to go with using the condom because there's an army of people looking at me right now who are young who go, I've never needed to before. It's a beat up, right? Which scares me. And I had this one girl 2 weekends ago saying, oh, they've cured it. And I've gone, what the fuck? And they've gone, oh, they've cured HIV. It's fine. I'm going, no. And I heard another guy say, oh, Prep C's fine. I'm going, only if you cut and only if you don't mind getting these 6 other strains. It only works on 2 or 3 strains, which is great, right? Yes. I love the fact that research has come so far that if you get HIV, you can live a really quite decent life for a long time. It's fantastic. Unfortunately, end of that time, you get AIDS, you die.
Yes.
It's not forever. You're not cured, and you're not going to basically live a life that you thought you might. So, no, it's not okay. Keep on wearing your condoms. Oh, I don't like them because the sensation's not the same. Look, get some education. The sensation is not only the same, you can get particular products that make it better. I won't go through them because there's really only 2 companies that make it, and I don't want to, you know.
Yeah, like, even if there's a degree of desensitization, it's like it's not like that's the worst thing in the world. It's considerably better than a sexually transmitted infection. And the thing I always laugh and kind of tied in with the anti-circumcision crowd, because they go like, circumcised penis is less sensitive. I don't know any women who are going, I wish the guy was getting more stimulation, which would make him come faster. It's not a thing. Something that, you know, maybe slows you down a bit is probably to the benefit of both parties.
But it doesn't. It doesn't. As
you said, the big tip is a little bit of lube on the inside of the condom, and that actually makes the condom move a bit when you're doing the biz. Oh, God, look, I've made chocolate milk this time.
Hey, nice one, man. But it doesn't. It's not. It doesn't slow down or speed up anyone. It doesn't. It's like the difference between I know this, right? I've been here and done this and know this from personal experience. Nice chocolate.
I'm just checking.
I'm trying to.
You're trying to make the ticking.
Anyway, yeah. No, look, there's a negligible difference between intact, uncut, and your car cock. It's just very negligible difference. You know, if they're young enough and they come fast, turn them around, have another go. You know, if they're old enough, they come fast. It's just like a long time between drinks. They'll have another go. Don't freak. You'll be fine. You know, be happy with the equipment you've got. Okay, yes, some people have to change the equipment they've got because they get, you know, all kinds of different. Yeah, don't worry about that. You'll get very used to everything very quickly. Mind you, I heard a story. On the weekend. It was harsh. A poor guy was doing his thing, and he's slipped back his foreskin a little bit and gone, oh, that's dark. And it's going darker, and he tells me, it's a bit dark. It's a bit more purple than I thought. And it goes, more than purple. And he goes, that's really quite dark. And slips back a little bit further and goes, that's really dark. And goes to his doctor. And his doctor goes, oh, well, let's slip it back and have a look. And it won't. And he's gone, this is an awkwardness. I'm going to have to take a scrape. And the guy says, oh, what do you mean? I haven't had to. He says, I'm going to have to slip it back all the way and take a scrape. He slips it back all the way, and it's gangrenous.
Oh, yikes.
And he goes, you're going to the hospital now. And the hospital goes, oh, this is fucking very bad. And they cut away everything from his thighs up to his diaphragm. All of that skin went away, and they grafted skin back on. So what he's got is essentially a rubberized hole that comes out of it. All gone. All gone. And I was just thinking, and I was looking at it, thinking, oh, would bang cut fix this? No, sorry. No difference.
Yeah.
Anyone would have got it. And they're looking for like a cause, did you get bitten? Did this happen? Did that happen? They couldn't find a decent cause, and they were just going,
Yeah.
oh, man, sucks to be you. Or
But,
not.
yes. But infections are like that. Some are, you obviously expose yourself to greater risk in certain scenarios. But sometimes when you hear stories, and like when polio was prevalent, there's some people saying like it was literally a case of when the polio bug went past, if you had breathed out instead of breathing in, you may not have contracted it.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing as like with some horrible fucking transmissible infections. It's like, oh, if you hadn't put your hand on that chair or that handrail or whatever, and then hadn't rubbed your eye or scratched a scratch on your skin, which got it through, you'd be fine. It's like these 1,000,000 to 1 chances.
But you're not talking STIs. You're talking about
No,
normal.
I'm talking about generally. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, some people will, bang nonstop without a condom with 100 partners and not contract anything. And someone might go out and do a thing with one person, and yikes, she's all over.
Get a big disease with a little name.
Yes.
This poor guy who got gangrene, unfortunately, it was an STI that got out of control. But they said that, fuck, anyone could have got it without a condom. And that's so prevalent now that condoms are a thing, and they're easy to wear, and they're easy to... they're so thin now that you don't necessarily know they're on. And check this fucking shit out. The Americans and the Japanese are working on technology where you can spray on the condom. You can spray it on like with an aerosol, and it's molecular thin, but it'll hold 8 liters of water. How good is that? So, I mean, there's virtually no feeling loss.
That just makes me think there's some like evil mobster type is going to fucking tie someone to a chair and spray that all over their face and then watch them suffocate. So the thing I've never seen this. I've seen some
angry every time. Anyway, anyone says anything, you say, I can see some angry mobster type do something bad. I heard you talk about electric speakers. And, I heard you talk about the magnets of electric speakers being hooked up to their eyes. I mean, dude, you could spray someone's face. Oh, yeah, but the whole thing works with spray and then solvent.
And the one... Okay, you think I'm bad with the spray-on condoms? The one I've always wanted to see in a movie, and I've seen some fucked up movies, but I want them when they're torturing someone, want to kill them. The stuff that builders use, the expanding foam they spray into wall cavities, stick that down someone's throat and fire it off until it surges out their sinuses and then harden. And just
because it's foam and it hardens straight away. And
expands to fill all the cavities and then hardens.
And then you go on.
I've never seen anyone do that in a movie. I've had a more fucked up idea than anything I've seen in a movie. So,
yeah, I mean, that'd be cool. I have seen in a movie people get cut and have expander foam put in the cut.
Yeah.
Ow. And I have read in a book about spray-on condoms, and one of the escapees actually sprayed on the condom on the face, like you said, and the bad guy was looking in his kitchen cupboard for solvent. However, this thing is apparently going to be sold with both at the same time, because they have already thought of the idea of what do you do when you've got spray on and you haven't got solvent, because you'd be going to the chemist at 9 o'clock in the morning with this 2-litre bag of piss around your cods going, please sell me some solvent, because you'd be, that would be 2 kilos of not happy. However, I can't wait for that to come. I think that would be awesome.
Yeah.
I think that I would really love the Australian government. Oh, I can tell you why the Australian government did that campaign. The Australian government had just introduced, like 3 years before, they just introduced a universal healthcare system, right?
Mm-hmm.
They were very unpopular for doing it because it meant everybody got taxed for this. And, of course, the same arguments came up. I don't want to spend my money saving that nigger over there without a job, right?
Yeah.
And that was the same arguments that you get in America. And effectively the government went, no, we're doing this. And they were told, look, if you do this now, in 10 years, you'll get back 3 times what you put in. And they went, okay, we'll do it. In 3 years, they got back 10 times what they put in. And they went, this is good. And ever since, even your hardcore right-wing governments, powers that be, when governments go, oh, we're going to bugger us around with Medicare, they get taps on the shoulder going, no, you're not. Because what happens is we have an artificial GDP that rests on the idea that our citizenry does not get chronic illness and they get out of hospital quicker and they don't die, so they pay more tax. Do you see what I mean? Like, you got this buffer of people who, they get better and they pay more money, And, of course, the customers, so they pay rent, they eat food, they buy cans of Coke. So, it's a big deal. Anyway, so it was about 4 or 5 years in, AIDS really hit. And the government's going, yeah, we're not giving up that money. No fucking way are we going to give up that money. And they got doctors in. They didn't get fucking priests in. They didn't fucking get social commentators in. They got doctors in saying, we want to stop this now. Shut this shit down. And the doctor said, well, you've got to tell people it's not just a gay disease. You've got to tell people blah, and you've got to put condoms everywhere, and you've got to do this, and you've got to do that. And the government didn't go, oh, this will be unpopular. They went, good, we'll do that then. And they got advertising companies in and said, you're going to do this. And the advertising companies went, oh, it's a big sell. And the government said, we are the government. Do you like being taxed? It's not that bad a sell. We can sell stuff. Right, and they were really hardball about it. You're all going to fucking behave. And everyone did. And the Australian public went, oh, yeah, AIDS is shit, but you don't have to get it. Right, one of the first things that came out was mosquitoes can kill you. They'll take it out of the AIDS patient and then they'll give it to you. Right? Therefore, you must kill all gays. And they shut that down straight away. And they said, you have to get it this way. You have to you have to let yourself get AIDS, was their big slogan, was you have to let yourself get AIDS. And then the first time in the world, first time in Australia, they had this thing called a needle exchange. It was very unpopular early, but a needle exchange. So you could rock up with your old needle and say, I'm a false name. And they go, oh, thanks, man. And they'd pop it all in the safety and they'd write down your name, your false name. So, okay, here's 3 back with the whole needle kit and everything, with the whole cotton wool and everything set up to go. And they go, oh, thanks, guys. And what it was it's a way to get clean needles into the populace. And then they went to the pharmacists and said, you must sell clean needle packs to anyone who asks. Anyone who asks.
Yeah.
And then they said, you must sell condoms to anybody who asks. We don't care if they're 8 years old. We don't give a shit how old they are. You will sell them. And you will sell them at the government subsidised price. and we will
Yeah.
be checking. And they did. A mate of mine was laughing at me because I was the kid at school who bought the condoms for everyone because I wasn't embarrassed because I'd watched 3 of my friends die of AIDS and it was horrific. It was a fucking foundational point of my life. Anyway, that's probably why I'm still fucking so fucked up about it now.
Mm-hmm.
I love Prep C. I love fucking the research. I think it's great. AIDS is a horrible, horrible way to die. Anyway, so one of these guys laughed at me and said, "What are you laughing at me?" He said, I'm the actual checker, but you're doing so much more condom buying than me that I might as well just sit down. I might as well just sit down and put my notes on you. And I said, "So you're getting paid to check how many people buy condoms?" And he said, "Yep." And I said, "How do you get your job?" He says, "You don't." So this couple came up because I was the only fag in school and said, "Oh, can you get some condoms?" I said, "No problem." And over I went and got them, and one of the fucking women there was the parent of one of the fucking students there. But I'm gone. But I went, "No, I don't care. I'm going to do it." So I went in there and got the condoms and went back and I went, "I'm so expelled." And nothing happened. And then next week, 2 couples and the other couple came up and said, I understand you saw condoms." Yeah, no worries. I'll give me money. Okay. And so this snowballed. Got to get to the hospital now. Take it easy. Thanks, Starlight 525, 528.
That's Gecko who's going in for the kidney stone thingy, get the urethral stent taken out.
Gecko, you are brilliant. Your cock's going to come out of there about 8 inches longer. I mean, I'm going to have to learn swallowing to get the interview, is what I'm saying, Gecko. I'm just saying. So, yeah, it got to the point where I was getting like 15 couples going, "Oh, can you..." And because I'd stuffed up to change a little while before, what I was doing is I was writing down lists of people and how much they gave me, and I'd go into the cabinets with my list and I go, "So I need blah, 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 blah." And the girls were laughing because they said, "Just hand over the list, or no, tear the list in half and we'll do that half and these girls will do the other half." I mean, what? And I said, you're going to just tell us anyway, so we might as well just go on, get it together, get the change together. And so they gave me the change in little bags with the list in,
Yes.
the condoms, and they go, "That's yours, and that's yours, and that's yours." And then, a couple of couples got busted, and it was very bad. And they were asked, "Where'd you get these?" And they said not a bloody word, which was amazing because those
good on them,
those press could put a lot of pressure on you. And they went, "Oh, yeah, a friend of them got him, but we can't remember his name." And I was just, and all the other couples who'd bought condoms were going, "We are fucked," because as soon as, it got round that other people did it, they would just hassle everyone. It was a couple. And the gay couples just said, "Have you put our name on the list?" And I said, "I've put your initials on a list. I know that's bad, but I had to keep a track somehow." And they were going, "Oh, man," they're so pissed off at me. And finally, I got shanghaied by a friend of mine, teacher friend of mine, and said, "Yeah, the condom buying's over. Yeah, you're in the shit. Like, you are so in the crosshairs right now. Except that the Australian government has let it be known that if anyone gets expelled for buying condoms, then they're going to honour that and ask for all of the tax money back from this year please. And it's
Ah.
10-20 million bucks, right? So there's no way they had the money. And so they knew who it was, and they just said, yeah, right, fuck it. And then I had to stop. But what was happening by then was the other couples were going, we can just like go in, right? And and then supermarkets just started to sell them. And it started to become less of a hassle, and it started to become less of a problem. And you start to get, different flavors and different looks and different this and different that. And it's kind of cool. And yeah, they were very grateful. Even after I was condom guy, they were all very grateful, going, you're the one that made it happen. And we had one other guy in the school who there was one terrible thing that you had to do. Once you got a result in once you got your test back, you had to start. Okay. Back in those days, there were 3 positives. First positive, second positive, third positive, you're gone. Okay, first positive, you're in trouble. Second one is sort of, if it was a mishmash, then they go, oh, let's hope your third positive is negative. And if it was negative, you were sweet. But your first positive, you've got to start writing lists. And that's humiliating, and it's bad, and you've got to personally go up to the person, say you're on the list, and they're furious. They are furious, regardless of what happens. And then it's not good. And so there was one poor guy who had a list, and he came around to everyone with his list, and by the end of the day, he was just shell shocked, and you could see the tears running down his, dried tears down his face. And he got like a bruise under his nose where some guy fucking thumped him because he had to talk to his girlfriend. This guy was bi, and I was thinking, I could be fucked here, literally. And so this guy had to make a list, and was so ashamed. And he went positive 3 times. And I said, stay at the school. Fuck him. Stay at the school, man. Get your treatment and stay here. Oh, yeah, but all the teachers know and they want me out. Good. Let them want you out. Let them want you out and just stay at the school, because they can't get you out, and they'd have to pay so much money to get you out. Anyway, end of high school, not senior. Senior was last 2 years of school. End of high school, they asked him to leave. They can't expel you, but they can ask you to leave. And effectively, they say, we're going to make it so hard for you to stay that you're not going to want to. So you go. Anyway, so he went off to Bundy College, which was awesome. Jesus, I wanted to go there, but my folks wouldn't take me. So, yes, that was the times, and that's what I did. I did my bit, but you should do your bit, and you should get the rubber on. And if you're a girl and the guys don't like it, get a dom, stretch it, and lick them on the cheek and nose, right? Just lick them there, and then lick them on the eyelid, and say, "Is it that bad of a feeling? Okay, could you feel that?" And they have to go, "Well, yes." They go, "Well, put that on the end of your dong, and I'll even make it better." And by this time, there's all pants off, and there's all like, yeah, okay. Oh, by the way, when you're ripping a dom, you'll see jaggedy edge and straight edge. You open it on the jaggedy edge. It'll be quicker. Because, when you're trying to get it together, you don't want to be going, no, I'm getting ready. No, jaggedy edge, you look smooth, and then pop your dom, and then okay, baby. A lot of that. Just saying.
That's cool. There's Abigail had to ask, what's the context of getting busted? I think she might have by now. The context was you were at Catholic school, and
Oh, yeah.
the
Oh,
people,
very Catholic.
yeah,
Very, very Catholic.
yeah,
Very, there's no sex before marriage.
yes.
And very,
There's no
if you're,
sex, basically.
there's no sex at all because it doesn't exist. And if you're gay, they have a pole in the middle of the quads, many quads, because there was many year groups. And they tied you up and made a public spectacle of burning you to death.
Yeah. The whole talk of condoms. I don't know if you've seen this one. You know the German band Rammstein.
I love the German band Rammstein.
Yeah. The lead singer has a side project called Lindemann. He's actually, these people, they've probably got more than one side project. But he has one called Lindemann, and which has released a few things, including one. It's just the most spectacularly fucked up thing I've seen. I loved it. It just it's on YouTube, and the opening thing is just a close up of his mouth saying, "I like to fuck with no French letter. Without the condom, the sex is better." And then it says something about, but there's a byproduct, you get pregnant if you have sex without condoms. The song is called Praise Abort. Because he's basically saying, I've got too many kids and I don't want to use a condom when I fuck my wife, but I'm really glad abortion exists. And the visuals in it are so fucked up. And the chorus, it varies a bit depending when it is, but the chorus is like, I hate my life and so I hate my wife and I hate you. And at one point he goes like, he's just decided sex with women is too difficult, so he's only going to fuck guys from now on because they won't get pregnant. But then there's a life about how the next chorus is about how much he hates his boyfriend as well. It's just the most fucked up song. It's called Praise. To release a song called Praise Abort is just fucking priceless.
Have you ever got into Einstürzende Neubauten?
Oh god, that's fucking our vintage. That's Einstürzende Neubauten are a weird sort of 80s German industrial fucking dance thing. They were very strange.
Very fucked up, very strange. Well, they've changed their sound. They've all got old, like us. They're
older than us. They're 10 years old. They'd have to be in their 60s now.
Yeah. Well, they've got a whole new range of songs, and their musicality is the same, right? They just use their noises more. They always use their noises in musical ways, in the sense that, like, if it was a noise band, right, you could go to a new gig, same noises, right? There wasn't a mistake. They meant those noises. So today you still got noises, but they're more like sort of mushed into a musical sort of form that you might get. They still play a rotating F15 what do they call it? Compressor, which is just spectacular in its sound, by the way. And they do this song called Not As Red. And it's about this woman whose lipstick is not, it's about all of these women, right? But their lipstick is not as red as this one woman. And you find out later it's his wife. And all these women not as red as this and not as red as that. And he's fucking all these women, and he's fucking all these women with a condom. And basically going, nah, it's not as good. And he's fucking his wife with a condom. And he's basically going, it's perfect. It's just perfect. And in the song, it says she won't use the pill because she doesn't want to lose her figure. And he's going, yeah, fine. Dom it is. And it's like, yeah, this really gentle song.
Yeah.
And it's all about dom use. From this
And of course,
German
all
boys
these weirdos sort of had side projects with each other. I'm sure there was someone from the Bad Seeds, like Nick Cave's band, in Einsterzende nur
Yeah,
Barton.
it was the lead singer. It was the lead
Nick
singer.
Harvey, wasn't it?
Yeah, and basic owner.
Yeah.
You know, him and two other guys with the band.
Yeah.
It was them plus
Yeah.
whoever else they could get in.
And you get, I'm sure people from Bauhaus were in it. And my personal, because again, the Bad Seeds, Mick Harvey, Nick Cave, and them were from Melbourne. Another one of my favorites, who people don't realize was from Melbourne, was Jim Fetus. Do you remember the Fetus releases in the 90s? He recorded under so many different names. His real name is James Thirlwell. He still works. He does soundtracks for animation now. He did the theme for the fucking Venture Brothers. He did a whole bunch of stuff for Cartoon Network, Adult Swim. But J.G. Thirlwell. But he called himself Clint Ruin was one of the names, and he released a whole series of stuff under variations of the name Fetus. And hey, kids, if you think you know bad taste names, this guy released records under the name You've Got Fetus on Your Breath, Scraping Fetus Off the Wheel. What else did he have? I think some of the others were milder, like Fetus Uber Frisco and the Fetus All Nude Review. I've got a bunch of Fetus records.
I remember there was one open sleeve, which my mate had, and he said, "You're going to love this." And he's opened it, and there's this erect dick and someone else scraping this pink mess off his erect dick.
Oh, yeah.
Going, scraping the penis, scraping the fetus off dick. And I was just like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm not okay with that. And he just went, this is just amazing. And he also put me onto Zig Zig Sputnik, which is actually pretty good. And everybody gives that shit.
So weird. But, you also had, like, in the 90s, you had Ministry and their spin-off, Revolting Cocks. They released at least 3 or 4 albums under the name Revolting Cocks. My personal favorite was Beers, Steers, and Queers, which was a mashup of what the drill sergeant said in Full Metal Jacket when one of the recruits says he's from Texas. He goes, "Only 2 things come from Texas, boy: steers and queers, and I don't see no horns on your head." And but then I've got both the Beer, Steers, and Queers album, which is great, and the 12-inch single of the song, and it just starts. It's just got the bit from Deliverance where the hillbillies get the guys who can go, "You got a pretty mouth, boy. Gonna make you squeal like a pig, city slicker. You gonna squeal for me, boy?" And then it just kicks into this weird amalgam of country and western and industrial metal, and it's so fucking strange. And the crossover between all these bands, all these weird fucking bands, and they would do bits and pieces. And another one fucking Clint Ruin did was under the name Wise Blood. You remember Casimir from college, the guy who was the music.
Oh, I did. I most certainly did.
He got me onto the music going, "I don't blame you if you hate this, because this is the most evil, demonic record I've ever heard." And I am not joking. There's the quite long tracks on it. I think it's only like 3 tracks on each side. And it's like the first track is about a satanic cult, and the second track's about a serial killer, and the third track's about a satanic cult full of serial killers.
As you do. Stick with the theme, and go there, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. There was some stuff there's some stuff back there that you just go. Well, you know what interested me was when 9 Inch Nails came out. Everyone was going, "Oh, they're so full on. They're so new. Their sound is so new." And I'm going, "No, it's noise band mixed with thrash punk mixed with funk. That's actually what it is. It's a really nice mix of that. He's done a fucking great job, and his poetry is really sweet. But it's actually those sounds smushed together. It's just, it's the future of, no, I'm going, no, it's the past of.
No, 9 Inch Nails were a more melodic version of some of these guys we're talking about.
Absolutely.
There's a straight line out of the 80s new wave stuff from Einstürzende Barton through to Ministry, through to 9 Inch Nails. And now Trent Reznor is an amazing musician. He's an amazing songwriter. He's an amazing producer. And he will go down in history for writing the best Johnny Cash song ever. It was when Trent Reznor wrote Hurt, it was the most personal, only about me. No one will ever relate to this ever. And Johnny fucking Cash did a cover of it. And you listen to Johnny Cash doing Hurt and you're going, this is about Johnny Cash. This song, Johnny Cash must have written this because it's summarizing Johnny Cash's life. And it was this fucking weird, skinny, electro thrash industrial guy's song. And Johnny Cash made it his. It's absolutely astonishing.
And Johnny Cash just listened to this song and go, this is an awesome song. And you can't imagine Johnny Cash listening to 9 Inch Nails.
Yeah.
You just can't imagine that.
Yeah.
But you know he has gone, it's a great song. Yeah. Bend over and get what you deserve. Yeah, I've seen that in my life. Yeah. And then Hurt, and he's gone, oh, yeah, how much time? How many times did I inject myself with heroin while my wife was waiting? And his wife is in the film clip going, I waited for you to come clean.
Yeah.
All those years.
Go find it on YouTube, the Johnny Cash clip of Hurt. They were both dead within a year. Him and June both died within a year of making that fucking clip. And
it was just opus. It was opus stuff. It was so great. And you look at it and go, yeah, that's Johnny Cash's life. I have heard rumor. This is not by any means substantiated. I have heard rumor that Trent Reznor saw that clip and went, I've got to get my shit together.
Because Johnny was saying sorry for his whole fucking life with that.
He was saying, I have been a fuck up and I've got stuff. I've got money. I'm comfortable, but you know what? I could have done better. And here's my wife who waited patiently for me. Yeah. And a lot of people don't have that.
She's doing in the clip, she's just looking at him going, I never stopped loving you, but Jesus fucking Christ, dude.
It was hard, man. It was hard. And he references her basically in the song. Doesn't say a word about it. Just references her going, a lot of people didn't have that. A lot of people didn't have that. Yeah. I did. And that kept my shit together. And I am a lucky man. And and then the song finishes and you go, okay, don't do drugs.
That line, I will let you down, I will make you hurt. And it's just like, no matter what you give up for me, no matter what I promise you, I'm going to fuck up and you are the one who's going to get hurt. And this is Johnny at 70 just going, holy fuck, I burnt so many people over so many decades. I mean, he did good. Johnny Cash did amazing. He was an amazing contributor to 20th century culture and whatnot. But in that, he's just basically saying, me as a person.
Saying Catholic schools didn't teach about condoms. No, they didn't. And they were legally required to. And so what they would do was they would say, there's some ways to get past some diseases, and it's these rubber things, and they would blow one up, thump, and they're very unpleasant, and put them down. And that was their education about condoms. Yeah. They didn't educate about condoms. They used to get shit in it every year, and effectively, there's an amazing person who's turned up. Yeah, man, there's a real person behind me. Anyway, they used to not educate about that. And effectively, you got people in trouble every year. And what happened one time was there was this chick, right, who did the right thing. So she gets pregnant, right? So then she, I know we're going to quickly go over time, but I'll do this quick. So she gets pregnant, right? And she goes to her priest and she goes to her parents, right? Which is what you're supposed to do. And they get together, they make an example of her, and they expel the shit out of her until such time as she can adopt out this mistake of hers. Yeah. And basically then she will be allowed back under certain conditions. The guy, nothing happened to. Nothing happened to. And what actually happened was the other guys in the school went, it's very unpleasant for you to be here. It's very unpleasant for you to stay here. It's very unpleasant for you to say anything. It's very unpleasant for you to stand where you're standing. You should stand over there. Oh, I see the warwogs aren't very happy with you standing over there. Maybe you should stand over there. Oh, I see it's a staff area and they'll let us stand over there. Maybe you should stand over there. Like, he got the message real fucking quick. He was out of there in 2 months. Anywho, I was always the rebellious one in the religion class, and I used to come in basically going, sex is good, you should fucking do the rooting. I've come in going, sex is good, you should do the rooting, and the girls turned on me. And I went, fucking, I've said something. I've pissed off one of the girls, what have I done? And they turned on me real bad. And then I got the news that one of their number had been fucking shot. And I went, oh dear. And so all the girls were proving how very good they were because they were next. They were all next. And then finally, and this was like 3 months later, finally one of the girls said, if I'd have fucking done the right thing and got an abortion, I would have been fine. Because she had a situation where the condom broke. It wasn't a stealther, it was a break. And that happened.
Yes. And
fucking, she said, if I'd have done the right thing, had an abortion, she miscarried. Basically, none of the shit would have come down on me. And this is just totally fucked. This is just against women. Boom. I was back on, baby. In fact, a couple of girls came on to me and said, it's time for you to come back. I'm going, what? Yeah, we need your religion again. I said, I thought I was a little bit, stinky on the nose. And they said, no, you're back. So, Catholic schools didn't teach you about condoms. They put themselves and a lot of people at risk. We had a couple of pedophile priests in our school. Bizarrely enough, one of them got busted real bad, actually, and he got moved on to another campus, but the other priest kicked the shit out of him before he went. He had to go to the hospital first because they beat him up. Which I thought was fucking hilarious. They kicked the fuck out of him. Anyway, one of the other pedophile priests met someone at school, and they would go for confession twice or 3 times a week. Interesting. And they were both anyway. Anyway, it's late, so we got to go. Hey, thank you so much for letting me be on your device. I'm sorry I spoke a lot tonight, but I just got
That's
a bit
okay.
passionate about a few
Yeah,
things.
that's a passionate topic. I do. Before we want to go, I just do want to address something PBR Street Gang said, because I mentioned the Leomi line from Full Metal Jacket, and he did point out Leomi was hired as a consultant by Stanley Kubrick for Full Metal Jacket, and particularly for the casting. He wanted Leomi to help him cast the drill sergeant, and Leomi said, "Let me do it." And Stanley Kubrick said, "No, you don't. You're not an actor. You are a drill sergeant. People can't act the thing they are. I need an actor." And
Trust
Liam, he
me.
said, "No, I can do it." And Kubrick said, "No, just help me. Help me with the casting." And I read this in an interview with Lee Ermey, and what he did, one of the actors came on and was doing the lines and shouting and whatnot. And Liam, he said, "I'm going to show this Kubrick wanker." And he just jumped up on the stage and started screaming in the actor's face, like 2 millimeters from his nose, exactly what he did to recruits as a drill sergeant. And just going, "You don't know what the fuck you're doing." And he just screamed and he reduced the actor to a puddle on the stage. And then the act went off, and Kubrick just looked at Ermi and went, "Sure, okay, I guess you can do it. Okay,
And
fine."
Ermi explained to Kubrick later, you don't understand that being a drill sergeant is acting. No one does this all the time,
Yeah,
right?
because I'm not actually like that.
You know, it's an act. You go and do this, and then weirdly enough, you go and fight with the boys, and they go, "But you're like this," and it's full shit, lad. Come on, wake the fuck up. We're in the trench, and we've got to shoot those guys. You know what to do. I trained you. Let's go. And you know, he can act. Anyway, I want to hear more AG discussions on school experience. You will, alternative
next time. I just want to put that up. That's for next time. We're going to say good night for now, but that's definitely more stories for next time. You fabulous people. Thank you. If you haven't already done it, go off to Twitch and follow and send a friend request or whatever.
Tell 6 people that Angry's awesome. And subscribe on him and put stars on him. And tell 6 your mates. Thank you so much for letting me be on your device. You are really nice. And I'll see you next week because Angry's... No, we won't. It'll be Thursday, won't it?
Probably Thursday unless something happens. So we'll say bye for now, and we'll see all you fabulous people. But I'm going to click the end broadcast.